key figures and trends that we have been observing on the European market. And with one of the view of my presentation is also to put in perspective this new on-demand market with the traditional linear market and to try to compare. And one of my points this morning is that the traditional linear television market and the on-demand market are pretty much interrelated, the one with the other, and that they should not be systematically opposed, the one from another. Let me start with some basic figures about usages and how do people spend their time and how do they spend their time watching linear television, on-demand services, and so on. These figures are taken from the UK, and it showed the still strong power, the direct and indirect strong power of live television. On the one side, and at the left part of the slide, the TV set itself remains the prime destination to watch video. That's over 90% of the time spent, fully time spent watching video, which is spent on the TV set. Maybe even more interesting, it's what's happening as regard the kind of content which is watched. And more or less, we see that if you add up live television and catch-up television and replay, the both of these account for about 80% of time spent watching video in a during day of a UK citizen. So live television is about 2/3, and 25% is about catch-up television. But altogether, live television and catch-up television account for 80%, which means that live television remains a very strong driver of the consumption of online video. So TV is still, and nobody will doubt this, a strong medium, of course. Still, it's not exactly the same landscape as regard television as it was like 10 years ago. Because at the same time, the audience of television is getting more and more fragmented. You see here, it's the cumulative audience share of the 4 top TV channels. On the left side, on all European countries we monitor. On the right side, for Russia. And there is a trend to more fragmentation within television, which can be also a threat as regard the advertising resources of television. So television is still powerful, but still going for more fragmentation of the audiences. And there is another but, or another change. It's that I have shown you before the general structure of time spent watching video for the whole population in the UK. Let's have a closer look at children and teenagers. And on this slide, it's children and teenagers less than 15 years old. And here you have the confirmation of that, of what we all know, is that a big change is taking place as regards the younger viewer of television. Whereas over 90% of the time spent watching video is on TV for the general population in the UK, it's 42% for children. And whereas specific online content, like video clips that you can find on YouTube, Facebook, and so on, account for 3% of the time spent online for all the population, it's already 26% for the children. So there is a change going on, of course. My second point is about the supply of audiovisual services. And this figure is taken from a database that we maintain at the observatory, which is called MAVIS, and make a census of the on-demand services available in all the countries we cover. And what we learned from this graph is that in terms of number of services, the catch-up television services or the replay services make the bulk of the on-demand services. And it's probably because catch-up television or on-demand or replay services are really the key application to drive people into on-demand consumption. It doesn't mean that it is the bulk of the market. That's just a picture of the supply of on-demand services. both in Europe and in Russia, as we maintain it in our Mavis database. Let's have a look at how the markets are evolving in terms of resources. Here again, I think one of the lessons of the evolution of the advertising spendings, both at the European level and at the Russian level, is that there is, of course, a migration of advertising toward the internet, but it's basically at the expenses of press and magazine. And one can say that globally, in terms of market share of the advertising market, the television market is pretty much resisting toward the internet migration. Again, it's rather press and magazine who are suffering from this evolution. That was about advertising. Let's have a look at pay services now. And here again, let's try to compare what's going on in terms of pay-on-demand services compared with pay television services. And we can learn several things from this comparison. The first point is that in terms of absolute value or in share of the market, the pay-on-demand services remain small so far compared with the pay TV service. Depending on the figure and sources, the order of magnitude is 10% as regard the average for whole countries that we monitor, about 4% in Russia. But we can learn something more from this graph, is that pay-on-demand services are growing, but at the same time, the traditional pay linear television services are also growing. So far, we don't see evidence of a direct competition between classical pay television and the new pay-on-demand services. It may be changing, but again, so far, there is no evidence that one is disturbing the growth of the other one. Why is that? Maybe because the new pay-on-demand services bring another category of pay services to people that could not afford the classical pay television. Again, that's just a picture from now. I won't take any chance saying that in the future there won't be any competition between the subscription VOD services and the pay television services, but so far, both the classical pay TV services and the new on-demand services are growing at the same time all over Europe. About 10% or 4%, depending on the zones in terms of market. I would just like to give the figures in terms of number of subscription, because it's a little bit more impressive, at least at the European level. Generally speaking, the new on-demand pay services are less expensive than classical pay TV, which means in terms of number of subscribers, we have at the European level, in average, close to 20% of the households subscribing to an on-demand service. So it's 10% of the market, but it's close to 20% of the households. That is starting to be a critical mass of households now using these subscription on-demand services. And my last point will be a drive into the pay on-demand services and trying to compare the two models of pay on-demand services. On the one side, the transactional on-demand services, where you rent or buy a program on a per unit basis, and on the other side, the subscription on-demand services. And it seems that we have a clear trend here, where increasingly it's the subscription model who is taking over on the pay service market. The market was initially driven by transactional on-demand, again, purchasing or renting a given program, a given film. It seems that there is a shift now and that the subscription model is taking over almost everywhere in Europe, and based on our figures, it is the case also in Russia. So my main text for this morning is there is a strong still interrelation between linear television and on-demand services. My second take is that catch-up TV among the on-demand services in terms of time spent remains a key applications among the on-demand services. And my third take is that it seems that the subscription model is increasingly taking over in front of the transactional model, and is increasingly the dominant model as regard pay-on-demand services. I will also do some advertising. Just to let you know that we have several databases at the observatory where you can find the kind of information I have been presenting this morning. We have the Yearbook Online service, where we gather all market data about 14 European states. The Mavis database, which is a registry or a database on all television and most on-demand services all throughout our member states. And Lumière, which tracks all films released in Europe with their admissions. And you'll find also some dedicated report on our website, which I'm not going to comment, but feel free to visit the website and please have a look at them. So thank you for your attention, and I'm of course available for any questions, comments, or even disagreements. Thank you.